Thanks for joining me for this week's quick business tip. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency. Is there something on your calendar right now, whether it's a meeting, a client, or some other type of commitment that you're just not excited about? Maybe it makes you a little sick to your stomach, or you're just dreading it. It doesn't even necessarily have to be something bad, but it's something that you know deep down inside is no longer the right fit for you at this point in time. But thinking about backing out of whatever this commitment is fills you with so much guilt and anxiety. If that's something that you have been feeling, then we've got a lot in common, because you are probably either a people pleaser or you're what I like to call a people pleaser in recovery. And this can be a feeling that you feel a lot, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Today, I am going to give you a clear, heartfelt, practical framework that you can use to say no to even things that are good but no longer a fit for you, and make room for things that are waiting to come into your life that are absolutely amazing. First, we're going to start by talking about a simple three-step test that you can use to give yourself some clarity when you're stuck in one of these decisions. Do you keep the commitment or do you back out? And I will give you a script to help you communicate this no with grace and firmness. And then finally, we will talk about the magic that happens when you create more space in your life for amazing things. But first, I'm going to tell you a story. For several years, I have been leading this amazing group of women we're all just entrepreneurs. We're doing small business together. We only meet once a month and we meet for an hour. And these women are amazing. They are positive, they're fun to talk to, and we've shared a lot of wins and struggles over our years together. Now, on paper, this all sounds like a really great thing. But for the last few months, I have found myself just not being excited about these meetings anymore. I see it on my calendar and my energy just drops. And I was really having this internal struggle where my brain is telling me this is a good group, you've made great connections, these are good friends. You are the one that puts this together, makes sure it's on everyone's calendar, sends the reminders out, starts the Zoom meeting, does all of these things. And I felt like I was stuck and I just couldn't walk away. But my heart was telling me, this has been wonderful and it's just no longer right for you. So this is what I like to call that people pleaser problem that a lot of heart-centered leaders fall into. Because oftentimes the hardest now isn't when you decline a meeting that you know isn't meant for you, whether it's a bad client, a terrible opportunity, a mastermind that's full of people with negativity. But when you have to say no to something that is good, it's positive, and it used to light you up, but it's no longer the right thing for you in this season of your life or business, that's when it gets really difficult. I often get filled with a sense of guilt, plus some obligation, and then just this anxiety that comes from letting people down. So I thought about this group for a few months, and I finally came to a decision that was clear and decisive and just like I was going to stand firm on. And I want to share with you how I went about getting there, Because once I got there, then I was kind of able to break it down so I can keep using it again in the future. And hopefully it won't take me months to say no to the next thing that just isn't right for me. So there's a three-part test that you can use anytime you're just not sure. When your head and your heart are having a little war against each other, and you just want something that you can put down on paper, not like a list of positives and a list of negatives and which list is longer, but something that goes a little bit deeper. The first step of the test is to ask yourself, does this energize me? Or does this drain me? Because that feeling that I had about the meetings where I was kind of dreading them, hoping enough people would cancel that we would just call the whole thing off, like knowing that I was feeling those things multiple months in a row. That was a clear answer. My body was telling me long before my brain was ready to accept the fact that this was an energy drain for me and it no longer belonged in my life. The second step is to ask if you are excited about this, or is it just something that's an obligation? Now, oftentimes we're going to have things that are an obligation that we don't get excited about. But this is a three-part test, and it's not like if you fail one of these, the whole thing's off. So it's okay to not be enthusiastic about something and continue to do it. But when paired with an energy drain and lack of excitement, this meeting felt more like a should do or a have to do than a want to do. Because your excitement about something is an amazing fuel that can help you do great work. And an absence of excitement is a real powerful sign that something just may not be right. Now, the third step in this test is to ask if this thing that you are thinking about is really helping you become the person that you want to be. Or is this commitment more tied to the person that you used to be or where your business used to be? And this final step is so important because this group was perfect and powerful and amazing and so beneficial for the person that I was 10 years ago and the business that I was running 10 years ago. But I've grown and my business has grown and my needs have changed and I want to continue to grow. And in order to do that, I have to let go of some of the past things. So this was really important for me to acknowledge that the future self that I'm stepping into is just no longer a fit for this group, which says nothing about the group or the people in it. It's just not right for the future person that I want to be right now. And the reason why I say that it's important for this to be a three-step process is that maybe not just one. I mean, certainly you have permission to say no to any commitment on your calendar. But if you're unsure and you want to test, if two of these things are a no for you, it's an energy drain, you're not excited about it, and this isn't aligned with the person that you are turning into, growing into, or want to be, two out of the three is a get it off your calendar cue. Three out of a three is a heck no. So now that you've made the decision that this is no longer the right fit for where you are now or where your business is, that's not all that has to happen. You now have to convey that message to whoever it is that you feel like you might disappoint. And this is the moment where people pleasers like myself tend to have the most anxiety, the most struggle. And it's super easy for us to sort of talk ourselves out of our decision because we don't want to let people down. But when you make a decision, you have facts to back it up with the three-step test, and you have a script that I'm going to give you right now that lets you be clear and kind and make it not their fault, not your fault, but firm in your decision that can help with some of the anxiety. So the first thing you want to start out with when you have this conversation is gratitude. You want to be able to genuinely talk about the appreciation that you had. And for the group that I'm talking about, it's going to sound something like, I'm so grateful for the time that we spent together, the friendship and support and, mentorship that you guys have provided along the way. And the second step is that I want to talk about me and not them. So by making this decision about me, it makes what I'm saying very final. It's not like, you know, Wednesdays at 10 o'clock just no longer work for my schedule, because then it kind of like leaves room for them to try to shuffle it around in their calendars. So you make it all about you. In this case, it's going to be something like, I'm in a season where I need to simplify my commitments and redirect my energy. That's simple. It's about me, and it's about something that I'm doing and changing in my life or my business that has nothing to do with you and is something I can stand firm on. And then you want to wish them well, whether it's saying goodbye to a client or a group like I am. It might sound something like this: I'm going to continue to cheer you all on and wish you nothing but the best as you continue moving forward in your business. It's very simple, it's honest, it's kind, and yet it is firm. What you don't want to do here is you don't want to over-explain, you don't want to apologize for your decision, and you don't want to leave the door open for any kind of negotiation. You're simply stating where you are moving to in your life and your business with grace. Now, even if you deliver a perfect script and you're standing firm on your three-step test that has made it clear for you that this commitment is not meant for you at this time, you can still oftentimes feel a sense of guilt once you've delivered the message. It's emotional energy that often comes from feeling like you've disappointed people. And if your brain is anything like mine, you might start second guessing all the decisions that you've made that's brought you here. So I think it's really important for you to have a plan for when this guilt hits in. First, you want to go back and look at why. Before I have a conversation with someone where I'm going to tell them that this isn't working out, this isn't for me right now, I need to take a step back, whatever that conversation is, I want to make very clear about the why that I have made this decision. So sometimes for me, that means that I need to write down all the things that I could say yes to by saying no to this thing. So that when the guilt starts to creep into my mind, I am able to pull that document out and reread my big overarching why I decided that this was the right decision for me right now. And the second thing that you can do for your people-pleasing brain that is often going to create a story that says something like, oh, everyone's going to be so disappointed in me, or this group is going to fall apart and it's going to be all my fault. Plan ahead and rewrite a story. Something like, I am trusting that these women are amazing and they are resilient, And that by stepping back from this, it is going to allow someone else to step up into this great opportunity. They're going to step into a new leadership role for this group and bring fresh energy and ideas in. So that your no is not only a gift for you, but it's also a gift for other people. And that brings us to the last part of this whole experience that we have all been through in our life and will all go through in the future. And this is the most hopeful part of the process. It's a principle that I have seen play out in my business, my life, and other people's business and life. Because the reality is that the universe or God or just the hours of day of the hours in a day on your calendar, there's they cannot deliver for you an amazing yes when there is no space left. So a few years ago, I made a really difficult decision to end a contract with a good client who just was no longer the right fit. I knew that by ending this contract, I was guaranteed to lose monthly revenue. And this can be a little terrifying and certainly make you second guess your decision time and time again. But I did it. And by doing that, I created space. In a very short period of time, that lost revenue was replaced by new clients, contracts that got extended or added to, and both of those things that filled that space brought me so much more joy than the client that I had been working with that I ended the contract with. Wasn't a bad client, wasn't a toxic client, it wasn't an easy decision. But if I hadn't said no to them, I wouldn't have made space for this new amazing thing. It happened with my decision for this group just days after I knew what I was going to do and I knew I was firm in my no to this commitment. I was presented with an amazing opportunity for a potential new client. And this is a project that I am so passionate about. It completely lights me up. It's challenging, which is something that I really needed right now. And it was an 100% yes for me. But that opportunity didn't appear by accident. I believe that it showed up in my life at that time because I had created the space for it by saying no to this group of women. Even before I had the conversation with them, it showed up in my life. Because you let the world know that you're ready for something great when you take that leap of faith and say no to something that's kind of okay. Saying no can be one of the hardest things for a heart-centered leader to do. But I want to remind you that it's not an act of selfishness. It's an act of strategic leadership and self-respect. It's how you're able to protect your energy, honor who you are becoming, and create space for the clients and the work that you are really meant to do. Making these decisions can oftentimes feel lonely. So if you are wrestling with what you feel like might need to become a graceful no in your own life or business, and you want someone to come alongside you and help you find the clarity and the courage to take action, please schedule a next level strategy session with me. The link is in the show notes. But first, this week, find one thing in your life that isn't passing your 3-step litmus test. I'm not asking you to act on it, Just find that thing and give it a name and start the process of acknowledging the truth that this just isn't what's right for you anymore. Take this episode as your permission to step into the new version of yourself and give yourself and your business and all your clients and future clients the gift of this graceful now. Until next week, keep leading with integrity, serving with heart, and making space for your limitless impact.